So I get a lot of questions about what makes people attracted to each other. And I think one of the most sort of tragic things in a way that I see in relationship dynamics at times is how hurt people feel and how personally they take it. If somebody decides a month into dating them, hey, it's just not a fit for me. I'm going to go in a different direction. I don't want to be with you. And I think one of the most sort of tragic things in this experience for people is that people think, oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I'm not worthy of love. Oh, I'm not interesting enough. I did things wrong. It's my fault. What should I have done differently? I'm so rejected. And I think we can give this really painful meaning to certain events or experiences without realizing that attraction has so much more to do with these elements of the subconscious mind than with you being some kind of objectively perfect person that nobody's going to reject. And so in this video, I want to cover the three major factors that actually determine attraction in relationships, how these are related to the subconscious mind, and how you can use this to not fear rejection in the same way ever again. So, first and foremost, one of the biggest things that determines attraction at a subconscious level is something called trait variety. Think of it this way. If many, many, many years ago, you were out trying to survive in the wild and you paired up with somebody strong and you were really clever or smart, you have a better chance at surviving when you're together. And this is this biological element of attraction, which is that we are literally wired to be attracted to people who express different traits than we do. And at a subconscious level as well, the subconscious mind, when it attaches to things, uses the things it attaches to give it this sort of sense of wholeness in a sense. And so if you sort of attach to somebody who has, this big part of themselves that they express that you kind of repress, well, together you're sort of forming this sense of wholeness. And so this is a major factor that causes attraction in relationships. You've often probably traditionally heard this referred to as opposites attract, and it is one element of attraction. Now, second to this, the second biggest thing that determines attraction, and by the way, I say second biggest thing, I'm going to say all three of them are the three biggest things. They aren't in any particular order. But the second thing here is subconscious comfort zone. Now, what's interesting about this is where you'll often see this sort of push-pull dynamic in relationships that we've all experienced at some point, which is that sometimes people who express or repress traits, and then sometimes our own subconscious comfort zone, they can kind of have friction points with each other. So I want you to imagine this when we talk about subconscious comfort zone. Anxious preoccupieds, as you know from this channel, are very often attracted to avoidance in relationships. Why would this be? Well, because the anxious preoccupied is in an avoidant relationship with themselves. So we are attracted to people who treat us how we feel about ourselves. And what ends up happening in relationships is that when somebody treats you in a way that's similar to how you treat yourself at a subconscious level, because the subconscious mind associates familiarity with safety and thus survival, at a subconscious level, we feel butterflies. We feel a sense of familiarity. We feel like we've known somebody for our whole lives. And really, what's happening is so much of the familiarity is often coming from the fact that somebody is acting towards us that in a way that represents how we act towards ourselves. And so we may feel this kind of connection or this comfort zone with people because of that. And you may ask me, yeah, but how could you know and recognize those patterns and how somebody's going to treat you so early, so quickly? Because sometimes we can feel that connection immediately the first time we meet somebody. And the answer to this is that your conscious and unconscious mind collectively, there's a spider on my wall, so I might have to keep an eye on that while I record this here. Um, the conscious plus subconscious mind collectively pick up to a billion bits per second of information and data, and only 40 to 60 bits per second of information actually make it to your conscious mind. And so when we meet somebody, we are forming this very intricate web, right, of information. Web. It's like my subconscious is thinking about the spider. So we form, but it is a web of information, truly. We form this very intricate web of information where we're recognizing micro expressions, body language, tone of voice, how often somebody looks us in the eyes for, how they cross their arms in front of us or look away from us, like how their bodies turn towards us. All of these different things are forming this really intricate a web of information, and only a portion of that makes it to our conscious mind. But essentially what's happening that whole time is that as we're taking in this information, at a subconscious level, to a certain degree, we're being imprinted by it. We're like, oh, this person's so familiar. Oh, this person, and we can tell to a certain degree if somebody's more likely to be dismissive. And if we are dismissive to our own feelings, our own needs, our own boundaries, we're like, oh, wow, they feel so familiar and so nice. So there's that really strong element to pay attention to. By the way, if you want to really recondition this stuff and change your subconscious comfort zone so that you're actually attracted to securely attached people, I have a course that you can check out for free for 14 days, only for the month of May. And if you want to go into the How to Master the Dating Stage of Relationships course, you will gain access to how to recondition your subconscious comfort zone so that you can be attracted to more securely attached people, how to break up any patterns within you that are not working for you, and how to really change your point of attraction in relationships as a whole so you can start being attracted to the right people. You can have a healthier relationship to yourself first, because that's what it entails, and really learn powerful self-soothing techniques, understanding your non-negotiables, your standards, boundaries, so you can implement boundaries fearlessly. All these different dynamics are covered. And again, that course you can access down below, along with all other courses at PDS for 14 days. And so the third major thing here is needs. The third major thing that determines attraction in relationships is if somebody meets your unmet needs. So a really clear example of this is a lot of children in their upbringing, they're missing this need to feel significant, right? Because parents often are working full time or very busy, and children often are yearning to be seen, to be heard, to have attention. And oftentimes, what you'll see, and I think a lot of people have had this experience because I saw this so often in my client based practice, is that I would see so many people say, oh, I spoke to somebody on the subway today, or I ran into somebody at the coffee shop, and I just felt this really strong draw towards them. And then we would unpack it, and I would say, why is it? Let's unpack what's going on. And they would say, oh, they made me feel really seen, or they made me feel like I mattered, or they made me feel special or important. And these are some big unmet needs from childhood that most people experience. And so often what will happen is when somebody meets your unmet needs, you'll also feel this draw towards them that's sort of like hungering for more and more of that, because our subconscious literally identifies our sense of self largely through our unmet needs. So we tend to yearn for the things that we feel like are missing. So these are three major factors that determine attraction. And again, I want you to listen to this in the context of when somebody rejects somebody else in a relationship, sometimes it's because they have a different subconscious comfort zone around how they treat themselves, or sometimes there isn't enough trait variety there, or sometimes there's not needs being discussed enough in a relationship. And so somebody isn't getting needs met because you're not having needs conversations and really understanding what it looks like to meet each other's needs. So it's really not about somebody not being good enough or worthy enough or important, attractive enough, or whatever meaning you might give to when you feel rejected that can make you feel so low. It has to do with subconscious elements that draw us to each other. And these things play a crucial role at the end of the day. So there's a lot more to attraction than just the physical attraction. Of course, there's an element of biological physical attraction. Of course, that's there. But these are the real mechanics of what creates attraction at the subconscious level that actually continues and really drives that home long term. So I hope this is helpful for you today. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you're enjoying it. I put daily YouTube videos out here every single day, and would love to see you. And if you hit the notification bell, you won't miss any. So looking forward to seeing you in future videos.